Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I love this broadcast, The Profitable Interior Designer, where Lesley, my associate coach and luxury interior designer, talk about things related to running a profitable interior design business. And Lesley and I were talking this morning, so welcome everybody, but Lesley and I were talking this morning about what's the most important thing I think that people come out of coaching with us with, right? What is the biggest thing before we get into this topic? And for me, when they are running their decisions by us as they run their business for 6 months or a year, some people more because they're going to another whole level, they start to learn about good decisions versus maybe not such good decisions, right? And you know, as coworkers, we always bounce our decisions off of each other, right? It doesn't matter that you work for me, I'm the coach, I'm the head coach, it's my business. With your business too, sometimes you need to bounce things off of somebody.
I sure do. Thank you, Nancy. We all need accountability. We all need a coach in our lives.
I just feel like it's so hard to be an interior designer and make all your own decisions. Like, what do I do first? What do I do second? What do I do third? Gee, that person looked like they just did that. That seemed to work. But did it really work? You don't know the behind the scenes, but we do, right? So I feel like when people coach with us, whether it's one-on-one, group, they come out with confidence in their business decision making by the end of their time working with us. And I'd say that is the biggest win. Anyone can learn what software to use, which is what we're going to talk about today. Anyone can learn how to manage their money, put together a process for great interior design to deliver to their clients. Yeah. We could teach you all of that. But the thing that is most important that we're teaching you is making good decisions for your business, riding through the ups and the downs like a pro, because as an entrepreneur, there will always be ups and downs, guys. This is not a destination. Okay. Every time
I love that, Nancy. This is not a destination. We are here and it's going to go back up here. It always does.
It always does. And sometimes we have to get really creative about the programs we're offering to people, right? What the service models we're offering to people, because politically things are changing. Society is changing. So we have to be ahead, think creatively, think outside the box. And this is what you and I do every day with our clients. Like, let's try this, let's try that. That seemed to work. Let's dig into that. And we help you learn how to make good decisions for your business while we're teaching you all the nooks and crannies of running it, right? So I just wanted to say that because I woke up this morning, I'm always thinking, what do I really do for people, right? Besides teaching them the little nooks and crannies of how to run a business, what I'm really doing and what you're doing is giving them the confidence in themselves.
That's it.
That's it. To make good business decisions, because we're giving you the knowledge of how we make decisions for our own businesses and how we're helping you think through your decisions and not to rush into decisions, right? Don't rush into decisions. Research, think it through. And when you run it by someone else who's experienced, you start to get confidence in your own decisions. Because I always say, well, what do you want to do? And then I hear what they want to do and we discuss it. And we push back on their logic sometimes. And sometimes we go, your logic is perfect. And that's what gives someone confidence, actually doing and succeeding. So, all right. So today we're talking about the best interior design software for 2025, what you need to know. So this is your baby because Lesley loves to chase shiny objects and anything new that comes out in this industry, just so you know. So that's why she's such a huge benefit to being a coach, because she really checks out everything that comes out, right? So you love it. You love software, you love technology, you love business, you love marketing, growth, sales, all that, right? And then, of course, creating beautiful spaces for people. So let's talk about how does someone choose the design or project management software for their business.
So Daniel is the one that asked the question today. And he said, how do I choose a design or project management software? There are so many out there with new ones popping up all the time. Which one is best? Daniel, the best software doesn't exist.
It's true.
Truly, and I will say, okay, so I started in design 20 years ago. There was no software. We were faxing things. Like I had a Rolodex. Like that was not a thing. I am so grateful that there's been this evolution and there are great options. However, the pendulum swung, and now there's so many, it is kind of hard to determine and decipher what's best. And
Yes.
I've noticed, myself included, designers feel very strongly about their software.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're like, this one is the best. So really, there isn't a best. What you need to figure out is, what type of business do you run? Are you doing design only? Are you doing full service? Are you doing new builds and construction and renovation? These are all different needs for your software. A software that's designed for virtual design, design only, e-design, is going to function very differently than a design backend software that is to help you manage a 10,000 square foot new home build.
Yes.
So some are better for newer designers. Some are better for more advanced designers with complex businesses. I'll throw out a couple names just to get you started. We found it's funny, newer designers, we would say like MyDoma and Design Files. I use Design Files personally right now, and I love it for my business, and I'm not a new designer. More advanced designers with more complex businesses sometimes lean more towards Houzz Pro, Studio Designer. Those are just 4. There's way more out there. So we always suggest start with Nancy's Interior Design Business Forum free Facebook group. It is a community of 10,000 designers now.
Yeah.
Do a little searchy search in the chat. I promise there are so many discussions about software in there, and you will get people's real takes on what's working, what's not, what they like, what they don't like. It's not going to give you a definitive answer, but it'll help you do a little bit of research from other designers who are able to share their perspective on those particular software programs and how they've worked or not worked in their businesses.
Yes, and be as specific. If you're going to search and read past posts, that's always the best way to search in a Facebook group before you put another post, right? But if you don't get the answers you need, certainly you can put another post, but be as specific as possible as to what your business model is like, who you're trying to attract. Are you residential? Are you commercial? Do you do project management? Do you do virtual? Do you not? Mm-hmm. All these things are really important when you're actually deciding which software to choose. And do a trial, right? A lot of them offer. So some of them offer, you can put one client in and not pay anything and just work the whole system. Others will give you a couple of months trial. They're all different. So I know it's hard to be juggling in multiple softwares at any given time, but you definitely want to check out at least 2. Right. So we always say, here's 3 names. That's when someone comes to us exactly with what their business is. Like Lisa is asking right now, what about commercial, animal shelters, new build and renovation from YouTube? So what would be the best software for a designer who designs animal shelters, new builds and renovations?
That's a great question. I'm thinking off the top of my head. I mean, that's something, if you're doing commercial, something like Materio is another program I didn't mention earlier, but it's very, I don't want to say construction heavy, but it's amazing for specifications, for, I'm blanking on the word, when you like quickly measure off a drawing and get quantities. There's a word, it's not coming. I really did like Materio. And I think that could be a good one for that sort of thing. I've heard good things about Programma. It's more spec-based, not design or drawing-based. And that's a point I want to make too. Some of these programs have floor planning, 3D built in. Some don't. And that's also going to be a deciding factor. Do you want that integrated into your software? Right. Something like Programma, my understanding is there is no drawing. Like you would be doing your drawings in Chief Architect or SketchUp or in another program, but this would really be where you are focusing on specifications and notes and technical work. So again, there is a lot to consider, which is why I think doing the free trials, signing up, and listen, if they don't share publicly that there is a free trial, message them, email them. There often is a way you can test software out for free, poke around the back end, see if it makes sense to you. Like, yes, there's going to be a learning curve, but it should also feel kind of intuitive. Like it should make sense to you and how you work and what your process is to transfer it into that system. It shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, what is this? Where do I even begin?
And that, I think, what you're saying is the biggest difference when people choose their software, right? It is based on the type of business you run: residential, commercial, design only, design project management, renovation, new build, right? There's commercial, hospitality versus others. there's so many things to consider, but the bottom line is kind of simple. When you open it up, do you go immediately like, I don't understand one training video that I'm watching.
Yeah.
It's unintuitive to my brain, right? And then the second software, you go, okay, I kind of get this. And you're not exactly sure why, but I can simplify it for you. If your brain can understand fairly quickly, give it 2 or 3 hours, give it a good try before you bail on it. But really, that's the bottom line, right? I've heard you say, my brain just couldn't figure out how they set this program up, so I bailed.
Yeah, there's a couple out there that people love, and I don't think they're bad programs at all, but I went into it and I was like, I don't really get how this would work. Like it didn't click for me. And that's okay. That's why there's different options. You need to choose what makes the most sense. And I think I want to mention too, I think it's important to find a great program with all these trials that meets you where you are now, but be thinking a year or two ahead. Like, you don't want to get something that's too big and bloated and scary and too advanced, and you're like, I don't even know what to do in here. This is too much. But switching your entire back-end program software is a beast, and you want to minimize that. As someone who's done it many times, I assure you, it sucks. It's worth it when you find the right program. But keep in mind what's going to work now, what's aligned with my workflow, my systems, what makes sense to me, and where am I hoping to go in a year or two? Do I want bigger projects? Do I want like maybe I'm doing design only right now, but I know I want to start getting into procurement and ordering. So I want to make sure that I have something that is going to meet those needs without being so far beyond. So it's a little bit of a dance, kind of playing around and figuring out what makes sense for you where you are now and what you can grow into in the next season.
So you're reminding me of lessons we've been doing over the last 2 weeks, which is we run 2 different businesses. The current must get money now, must project manage and deal with a software now to help us manage the few projects we may have. And then the long term, I need to consider my growth and where I'm headed, right? So you need to consider where you're headed when it comes to your software, just like you need to figure out where you're headed when it comes to your marketing and attracting your ideal client. Not just who's coming to you right now, but also who are you looking to attract? So think of the software as something that can expand, nothing that's just going to be good for this year. Okay, so name a few more just so people have an idea. So just list them out. So if you're coming into us late, that some of the softwares we have seen people use and some of the software we have recommended depending on your business model and how you work.
Okay.
Name a few. Let's go.
Test my brain here. We've got a few written out. So we've got MyDoma, Design Files, Studio Designer, Houzz Pro, Materio, Programma, Design Manager is another one that people like. The integrated bookkeeping. Oh, you're putting me on. I should have done a list before we did this. I will say though, those to me, I feel like are the big ones that I hear the names a lot. I'm sure there are other more niche ones, but let's be real. A list of 7 is plenty to get you started researching and figuring it out. And I will say the Facebook group is a great place. We already mentioned this, but please go into that Facebook group, do your research and ask questions. Hey, I'm a firm. I focus on XYZ. This is how I like to work. What do you think might make the most sense? There's new stuff popping up every day. I'm always a little bit leery. Like, I want to make sure that they stick around and they're established before I commit and move my whole back end to them. But there's some really good stuff out there, Nancy, to help that was not there 5-10 years ago. And I'm so grateful for that because it makes this whole business so much easier.
It does make it easier. And the thing everyone has to be careful of is, and we talk about this in the group, our group program, is your tech stack can get very large. Your tech stack is how many programs you use to run your business and how many of them have overlapping functions that you don't even know that they can do. I will tell you, right? And we do it in our company as well. We buy a program because we have a need, it's working great, and we never take the time to figure out what else that program can do that might be saving us money on another program before we buy another one, right? So
I'm surprised we get so many designers saying, well, I have design files for this and MyDoma for this. And I'm thinking, you need to pick one, man. Like they're not exactly the same, but there's so much overlap. I think this is an important point. You're going to need a lot of tech, but you really do want to minimize your tech stack and figure out what is the best of the best for you.
Yes.
How can you use what you're paying for to its full capacity?
Yes.
A number of designers that I hear from saying, how do we, anyone have a good template for spec sheets and things like that? And I'm thinking all of these programs have spec sheets integrated. Like, you don't have to buy fancy templates and export all your, there's a button. You've already got the information. There's so many efficiencies in these programs too. So let's say that as well. If you are not using a design specific project management software, you need to get on this boat and do your
Yes.
because it will save you just tremendous amounts of time and headache. The biggest benefit for me, Nancy, that I noticed, duplicate entry. I used to start with a spreadsheet and then I would have to transfer it here and there and everywhere. That is how things went wrong. I would miss details. The more places you have information, the more likely something is to get missed, for a mistake to get made, for a typo. Yeah. When you can start in a program, and you can tell I'm so passionate about this, I love it. When you start in a program and you get that data clipped in from minute one, here is your sofa, you have the fabric, the frame, the finish, and that information follows the whole project.
Yes.
You touch it, you never have to edit it, you never have to copy and paste it somewhere. It really minimizes the room for error. I've noticed that in my own business, without a doubt. Keeping things as one, I hate this phrase, but it makes sense, one source of truth, one central source of truth for your projects really is huge in maximizing your time and minimizing mistakes.
Yeah, I think in what you said, how it flows through the entire process, as opposed to having to be copied and pasted here, and then I'm going to put it here because I have to show it to the client, then I have to put
it in QuickBooks to make the order and the invoice, and then I have to go to the purchase order, and I have to go blah blah blah. Yeah,
copy and paste enough, and guess what happens? Mistakes happen, and it's and it's costly. So, I mean, I just spoke to someone yesterday who came into the Profit Insider Academy, our next group, starting in September, and they're still using spreadsheets.
Yeah.
So
they have their place, but they're not the best option for most of what we are doing now.
Right. There's better options to make your time run more efficiently. And as entrepreneurs, we know how much there is to do all the time. So if one process is taking you so much longer and there's a quicker way to do it, it's time or money, guys. It's time or money. So you're always choosing, am I spending my time or am I paying a program to do it? Or am I spending my time or am I paying someone else to do it? So look at your software. Make sure it's working for your business the way you run it today. Look to make sure it's going to run well for you as you grow and whatever your growth plans are. And if you're unsure about what program to use, go into the Interior Design Business Forum free Facebook group, do a search on past posts on software and start reading. And you can always ask a question. Does anyone have a suggestion? This is what my business, and I would say, does anyone have a business just like mine, and they love their software? Would you please share which software you're using? That's how I would ask it, because I don't want to hear from people go, well, I use this, but it's got its issues. And it's like, I love it, and my business is just like yours. So
yeah,
your best interior design software for 2025 is one that you choose, that works with your brain and works with your business model. And we always suggest check out 2 or 3 before you make a decision. But make a decision, because not making a decision just makes you spin in the same circle for a really long time. So I think that's it. Did I have any other tips today?
I was just going to say, I know you've mentioned it, we've said it before, please do ask in the group. And I'm in the group pretty much every weekday, and I love to help with these questions. If you search, you'll find some long answers from me on certain software programs. So we are here to help. We want you to have an incredible, profitable business. Your back-end systems, if they can be chugging along, they're working, they're easy, they're simple, they're making life easier and faster for you, that builds your confidence and that builds your profitability. It is a win-win.
Yes, a win-win. All right, everyone, we will see you next Thursday. Go have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend. And don't forget to make good decisions for your business. Every day, take your time, get your information, and make good decisions. And if you need help, that's what we're here for. See you next time. Bye, everyone.